So what I'll be doing in this experiment is running a comparison with my HF mobile antenna and a phased vertical array for 40 meters, which of course is giant. It has gain over a normal half-wave dipole, and at the top of it, it's 20 meters in the air. All right, so probably even an unfair comparison for my antenna. So this is the radio that's running the phased vertical array, and as you'll see, it's on RF power 50%, which is for this a 5 watts, okay? So that will be transmitting on 7191. So the phased vertical array, it's center fed, it's my own design, and that's its apex way up there, and it has two vertical elements that are a half a wave apart, and because they're operating out of phase but half a wave apart, that means they're additive along the axis of the antenna. No point arguing that, there's plenty of videos about that. So this black wire, you can probably just see dangling here, is one of its vertical elements. This is a beautiful match on 40 meters without the need for an ATU. Now of course, 100 microamp meter going off its chops, and this is a brilliant antenna system, okay? I move away and she's down. So I'm just showing you that I am running on the phased vertical array. Now, this is an old multimeter. I've just added some rectification and an antenna and hardwired that in. Now, this is on 0.5 milliamp. So this is 500 microamp, okay? So I'll now move closer to that wire. Okay, starting to tickle. And when it, all right, so it's banging full now, and I'm probably about a meter or so, a meter away from that antenna in its axis of additional gain. So to do comparison with this HF mobile, I'm going to move the car away from this location. Okay, so I've now driven off the hill where I live, a long way from my antenna, down into Emerald Village, into a car park. And just to rule out any idea or suggestion of interaction between my antenna and the phased vertical array. So the phased vertical array is transmitting as well as this. I'm going to show you SDRs, but first of all I'll show you. So this is 0.5 milliamp, which is 500 microamp, okay? I know I'll get, now this transmits from high up on the antenna, this one. Now you can see, so that's actually really doing very, very well. Alright, I'll go to a more classic version. Let's say, oops, forgive my terrible, I'm dropping everything here. Right, okay, so this is a 100 microamp meter, okay, and as you'll see, she's very, very, very active, okay, so very, very active indeed. Now just bear with me, I'll switch over to an SDR. So sorry about the sideways action here. So now unmute, and what you can see is two traces there. I'll try and unmute that, I did that wrong. And I'll lower the volume a little. Okay, now the trace it's sitting on is the HF mobile, and admittedly the HF mobile is running 10 watts, okay, and the phased vertical array is the trace to the left of it running 5 watts. Now bear in mind, that's a gain antenna. It's not a typical reference antenna. It's got significant gain over a dipole, okay, and there is my HF mobile running 10 watts into VK5 compared with a giant elevated phased vertical array. Now I'll jump down to that and you'll see it's actually going over the S7. Let's see, give it some time. Alright, so let's just say on average S7, probably a bit over there. Right, and then the mobile, let's see, wait for it to come back. I haven't got them going the same speed. So S4, S5, S4, S5. So at best, if it's S5, I mean the conditions keep varying, but Yeah, I'd say S5. So S5 and let's say S7, that's 2 S points under. But for a mobile, think about that. That's bloody insane. How often do you see people comparing their HF mobiles with a phased vertical array? I'm not even using a quarter wave monopole as a reference here. I'm using 2 phased verticals with the tops at around 20 meters elevation to reference my HF mobile. Right? So yeah, some smart ass was saying, you know, I need to do more controlled experiments and measured sort of proper measurements, etc. I don't know what on earth he means by that. Like, how do you properly measure, an antenna's radiation without a proper bloody set up for that? I mean, we use relative field strength meters, and I've shown you anyway that she's cranking out on relative field strength meters, and that's just insane. So, and bearing in mind, this thing is running on a dummy load. So I'm actually running through a dummy load, and wait for it to come back. So that is absolutely insane, right? So I'll go back to the, sorry about this. Oh, there we go. So there you go. So she is insane. HF mobile, 10 watts. Now what I will do while I'm here is I'll actually wind it down to 5 watts so that it's a watt for watt comparison. So just bear with me here. I'll just show you me do that as well. So in the power menu, 5's as low as it can go anyway. So let's see how it's going now. Sorry about the sideways action again here. There we go. So there she is on 5 watts. So now they're running both 5 watts. So I'd say S4, sometimes nearly S5, right? And this one is about an S7. So absolutely bloody brilliant for an HF mobile. That's insane. So, you know, these people, the ham radio is full of them, of a certain type of person, you know, the smart asses. But the problem is they're not that smart. So if you take smart out of that description, you know what they are. Anyway, 7.3 and thanks for watching.